Good morning and welcome. I'm so glad you're here today. It's hard to pick a favorite among the 12 spiritual powers. Each one is so essential and so transformative. But if I'm being honest, I think zeal might be the most fun. There's just something about zeal that make life feel more exciting, make you feel more alive, more vibrant, and makes life feel more worth living. Today we're exploring zeal as a spiritual faculty through the lens of Linda Martella-Whitsett's book, Divine Audacity. Not just enthusiasm or excitement, but something much deeper, a divine power that lives within each of us, waiting to be awakened and directed towards our highest good. In Unity, we recognize 12 spiritual powers, 12 faculties that are part of our divine nature. These aren't things we need to acquire or to earn. They're already within us, gifts from the divine. And zeal is one of the most dynamic of these powers. Orange is the color associated with zeal. And it's associated with the disciple Simon Peter, impulsive, passionate Peter, who was always the first to speak, the first to act, the first to leap out of the boat. Zeal is located at the medulla oblongata, that place where the spine meets the skull. It's literally at the base of our consciousness, the foundation of our life force. So what is zeal exactly? Charles Fillmore defined it in The Revealing Word as intensity, ardor, enthusiasm, the inward fire of the soul that urges mankind onward, regardless of the intellectual mind of caution and conservatism. The inward fire of the soul that urges us onward, regardless of caution and conservatism. Feel the power in that description. Zeal is the part of you that says yes to life, even when our cautious mind says, wait, be careful, play it safe. Linda Martella-Whitsett expands on this beautifully in Divine Audacity. She writes, as is true with all of our spiritual abilities, zeal is natural to us. To eagerly awaken each day, to enthusiastically anticipate our activities, to forge ahead with gusto, to wholeheartedly attend to all that matters to us. These are common signs of our innate facility of zeal at work. Zeal is natural to us. It's not something we have to manufacture. It's already there, waiting to be activated, to be directed, to be expressed. She goes on to say that spiritual zeal is the harnessing of enthusiasm as a propellant into purposeful living. Zeal is an attitude of forwardness and courageousness. Zeal is single-minded devotion to one's purpose. Single-minded devotion to one's purpose, that's powerful. Not scattered enthusiasm that flits from thing to thing, but focused passion directed towards what matters most. She continues, zeal is our rightful power of enthusiasm, audacity, and devotion. Zeal is noticeable. People living at high levels of zeal are often described as energetic, bright, as filled with light, zestful, exuberant, and I think magnetic. Paul understood this power. In Romans 12:11, he writes, do not lag in zeal. Be ardent in spirit. Serve the Lord. So do not lag in zeal is don't let your fire go out. Don't let your enthusiasm dim. Be ardent. That means burning, fiery, passionate. And notice what he connects to it. Serving God. Serving the divine. Living your purpose. This isn't zeal for zeal's sake. This is zeal directed towards something greater than ourselves. This is passion in service of the divine. But what does serving God mean in unity terms? It means serving the divine within ourselves and within others. It means expressing our highest nature It means living from our Christ consciousness. And when we bring zeal to that service, something transforms. Service without zeal becomes duty. It's something we have to do, we should do, we ought to do. We go through the motions, we fulfill our obligations, but there's no fire in it, no joy, no life force flowing through it. But service with zeal, that's completely different. That's service that energizes us rather than depletes us. That's showing up to help not because we have to, but because we can't not show up. That's giving and living not from obligation, but from overflow. Really, that's love in action powered by divine enthusiasm. Think about the difference. You can serve on a committee because you said you would and you don't want to let anyone down, or you can serve on that committee because you're genuinely passionate about the mission, excited about the possibilities, enthusiastic about contributing. Same action, completely different energy. Zeal transforms service from something that we endure to something that gives us life. And that's what Paul is pointing to. Don't just serve. Serve with fire, with passion. Serve the divine with your whole heart aflame. Zeal is more than just being enthusiastic about something. It's spiritual intensity. It's passion for life itself. It is divine energy that makes you want to jump out of bed in the morning. It's that fire in your belly that says, yes, I'm alive and I'm going to live fully. Zeal is the power that energizes everything else we do. Without zeal, our prayers become rote. Our spiritual practice becomes a chore. Our service becomes obligation. But with zeal, everything comes alive. Prayer becomes communion. Practice becomes joy. And service becomes love and action. Now, here's something important. Zeal, in the context that we're talking about, is not fanaticism. Fanaticism is zeal without wisdom, without love. Zeal that has lost its connection to the divine. Fanaticism burns things down. True spiritual zeal builds things up. Fanaticism divides. Zeal unifies. Fanaticism is rigid. Zeal is passionate but flexible. It's intense but balanced. Think of zeal as your spiritual accelerator. It's the power that takes you from thinking about something to actually doing it. It's what transforms I should pray more into I can't wait to spend time in prayer. It's what changes I ought to be more loving into I'm absolutely committed to expressing love in every interaction. In Divine Audacity, Martella-Whitsett invites us to claim our identity as the light of the world. She calls us not to be timid about that truth, not to shrink back, but to boldly, audaciously step into our divine nature and let it shine. And you know what power makes this possible? Yep, zeal. Because it takes zeal to live audaciously. It takes spiritual intensity to stand in your truth when the world tells you to be small. It takes passion to keep showing up as love when fear is everywhere. It takes that fire, that divine energy to claim your identity as a spiritual being and live it out loud. Zeal is what activates our spiritual identity. You can know intellectually that you're made in the image and likeness of God. You can understand theologically that the Christ presence lives in you. But until zeal gets involved, that knowing stays in your head. Zeal brings it down into your heart, into your guts, into your bones. Zeal makes it real. But what does it actually mean to live as the light of the world with zeal? What does that look like in daily life? Well, it means showing up fully present in conversations. Instead of half listening while your mind is elsewhere or you're sneaking peeks at your phone, it means bringing your whole self to your work, whatever that work is, instead of just getting through the day. It means choosing to see the divine in the difficult person instead of just writing them off. And it means speaking your truth even when your voice shakes because you know that truth matters. Living as the light of the world with zeal means you don't wait for permission to shine. You don't dim yourself to make others more comfortable, and you don't apologize for your passion that you have and feel for your purpose and your divine nature expressing through you. When someone steps into that identity with passion rather than just knowing it intellectually, everything changes. They walk differently. They speak differently. There's an energy about them that's magnetic, not because you're trying to attract attention, but because they're fully alive. They're not performing. They're not pretending. They're just being who they actually are with their whole heart engaged. This is what zeal does. It takes the truth, I am the light of the world, from a nice spiritual concept to a lived reality. It makes your divine identity not something you believe, but something you embody. And here's something beautiful. Zeal energizes all the other spiritual powers. When you bring zeal to faith, you don't just believe, you live in absolute trust. When you bring zeal to love, you don't just feel affection, you become a force of compassion in the world. When you bring zeal to power, you don't just assert yourself. You step into your divine authority with confidence and grace. Think about what happens when you're truly zealous about your spiritual growth. You don't make excuses, you don't wait for the perfect moment, and you don't let fear stop you. You show up. You do the work. You keep going even when it's hard, because something in you is on fire with purpose. This is the audacity of zeal. The boldness to claim your good, to speak your truth, to live your purpose, and be the light you were born to be. Not in an arrogant way, but in a way that says, I know who I am. I am a child of God, an expression of the divine, and I'm going to live like that matters, because it does. When we live with zeal, we inspire others. Our enthusiasm becomes contagious. Our passion gives others permission to find their own. We become living proof that spiritual practice isn't dull or restrictive. It's the most exciting, liberating, life-giving thing you can do. Here's a key principle that connects zeal to our spiritual practice. Where thought goes, energy flows. This is one of the fundamental truths of consciousness. Whatever we place our attention on receives our energy. Whatever we focus on grows stronger in our experience. And zeal is intimately connected to this principle because zeal keeps us in the present moment. Zeal isn't about yesterday's enthusiasms or tomorrow's potential passion. Zeal is right here, right now. The fire of zeal burns in this moment, and that energizes this breath, this choice, this action. When we waste our energy dwelling in the past or worrying about the future, our zeal dims. But when we bring our full presence to this moment, this prayer, this conversation, this person, this task, this opportunity, this moment, our zeal blazes forth. So what does it actually look like to bring zeal to this moment rather than letting it scatter to the past and future? Imagine you're having your morning coffee. You could drink it while replaying yesterday's difficult conversation, planning today's to-do list, worrying about tomorrow's deadline. Your body's sitting with coffee, but your energy is everywhere else. There's no zeal in that moment because you're not actually in that moment. Or you could bring your full attention to the coffee, the warmth of the cup in your hands, the aroma rising, that first sip, the flavor, the way it feels going down, the simple pleasure of this moment. That's zeal in the present. That's energy flowing to where your thought is. And suddenly a cup of coffee becomes a small sacred moment instead of just something you do while thinking about other things. Or imagine you're having a conversation with someone you love. You could be physically present while mentally reviewing the past or rehearsing the future. You're talking and you're nodding, but you're not really there. Your energy's scattered. Or you could bring your zeal to this conversation, full attention, full presence, actually listening, not just waiting for your turn to talk, but fully engaged with this person in this moment, with this exchange. That's where zeal lives. That's where your life force flows, and the conversation becomes real connection instead of just words being exchanged. This is why spiritual practice matters. Not practice as something we did yesterday or will do tomorrow, but practice as what we're doing right now. Zeal keeps us here, and it keeps us engaged. It keeps us alive to the present moment where all our power actually lives. When you sit down to meditate, you can go through the motions while your mind is planning dinner. Or you can bring zeal, real intensity and presence, real passion for this communion with the divine. Same posture, completely different experience. And when your thought goes, where your thought goes, your energy flows. And when you direct your thoughts, your attention, your zeal to the present moment, that's where life becomes real, where transformation happens, and where the divine meets you and you meet the divine. Now, as powerful as zeal is, it does need direction. Undirected zeal is like a fire hose with no one holding it. A lot of energy going everywhere and nowhere. We've all seen misdirected zeal. Maybe we've experienced ourselves. It's the person who's so enthusiastic about their new discovery that they steamroll everyone else. It's the activist who's passionate about their cause, so much so they forget to be compassionate with people who disagree. It's the spiritual seeker who jumps from practice to practice and technique to technique, never going deep enough to actually transform. Misdirected zeal exhausts us. It burns us out, and it can even harm others. But spiritual zeal, guided zeal, that's aligned with wisdom and tempered with love, that is transformative. That's the zeal that changes lives, including our own. So how do we direct our zeal wisely? Well, first, we align it with our highest spiritual intentions. Before you let your zeal run wild, ask yourself, what am I truly here to do? What is my soul calling me towards? Let that answer guide where you put your energy. Charles Fillmore taught that when zeal is joined with wisdom, it becomes genius. When it's joined with love, it becomes divine service. Second, we balance zeal with other powers. Zeal needs faith to give it direction. It needs strength to sustain it. It needs love to keep it from becoming harsh. It needs order to keep it from becoming chaos. You're not just zeal, you're a whole symphony of spiritual powers working together. And third, we practice discernment. Just because something excites you doesn't mean it's yours to do. Just because you feel passionate about something doesn't mean it's the right time or the right way. Let your zeal rise, but let it be guided by your inner wisdom, by your Christ consciousness. Here are some practical ways to awaken and work with your zeal. Start your day with the question, what am I passionate about bringing into the world today? Let the answer energize your morning. When you pray or meditate, don't just go through the motions. Bring intensity to it, real meaning. Let yourself feel the power of connection with the divine. Use affirmations that activate zeal. Charles Fillmore gave us one of the most powerful zeal affirmations ever written. I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forth with a mighty faith to do that which is mine to do. I love that so much that I've adapted it for my own practice, simply with I burst forth with zeal and enthusiasm to do that which is mine to do today. Feel free to use either version or create your own. Other zeal affirmations include I am filled with divine enthusiasm for life. I bring passion and purpose to everything I do. My zeal is guided by wisdom and love. Notice where you're holding back. Where in your life have you been playing small, staying safe, dimming your light? That's where your zeal is needed. That's where the invitation is. And here's a beautiful practice. At the end of each day, ask yourself, where did I feel most alive today? That's your zeal speaking. Honor it. Follow it. Let it show you where your divine energy wants to flow. Remember, you're not trying to manufacture zeal. It's already in you. You're just removing the blocks, opening the channel, giving it permission to express. And when you do, when you let your zeal align with your divine purpose, you become unstoppable. Not in a forceful way, you're not a steamroller, but in a flowing, powerful, grace-filled way. Now, we're going to take a couple minutes to connect with this power center within you, to awaken and activate the spiritual faculty of zeal. So take a few moments to get comfortable, let yourself relax, your shoulders drop. Close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. If not, just soften your gaze. Take a couple deep breaths, breathing in life, breathing out anything you don't need to carry right now. Now bring your attention to the base of your skull, where your spine meets your head. This is the energy center of zeal. Place your attention there gently, like you're greeting an old friend you haven't visited in a while. Imagine a warm, glowing light beginning to form at the base of your brain. That might be golden or bright white or orange, whatever color feels right to you. This is your zeal center awakening. With each breath, this light grows a little brighter, a little warmer. Feel it pulsing with life, with divine energy, with enthusiasm for your existence. Now imagine this light beginning to spread. It moves down your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, filling your entire back with warmth and vitality. It spreads across your shoulders, down your arms, into your hands. The light of zeal fills your chest, your heart, your belly. It moves down through your legs, all the way to your feet. Your whole body is glowing now with divine enthusiasm, spiritual intensity, a passion for life. And as this light fills you, let yourself feel what it brings. Maybe it's excitement, maybe it's courage, maybe it's a quiet, powerful determination. Whatever zeal feels like for you, let yourself experience it fully. Now ask yourself, what am I being called to bring my zeal to? And just listen. You don't need to force an answer. Just create space and see what arises. In just a moment, we're going to start 1 minute of silence and just be with this power, with this presence and this divine energy that lives in you. Now, gently, slowly, bring your awareness back and take a deep breath. And let's affirm together silently or out loud. I am filled with divine zeal. My enthusiasm is guided by wisdom. My passion is tempered with love. I bring my whole, alive, energized self to this day and to my purpose. Take one more deep breath. When you're ready, open your eyes. As you go out into your week, remember this. You have within you a power that can transform everything. The power of zeal. It's not the kind that burns out or burns others, but the kind that keeps you lit from within. Passionate about your purpose, enthusiastic about your life. Don't wait for the perfect moment to let your zeal shine. The world needs your passion and enthusiasm, and your own soul needs you to show up fully alive. Linda Martella-Whitsett reminds us that we are the light of the world, not someday, not when we're more enlightened or more evolved, right now. And zeal is what allows us to live that truth audaciously, boldly, and without apology. Where thoughts go, energy flows. And when you direct your thoughts, your attention, and your zeal towards your highest purpose, towards serving the divine, towards expressing love, towards being the light, that's where your energy will flow, and that's where your life will flourish. Go be the light and live with zeal. And so it is. Thank you.